fart.
Ladies and gentlemen and in-betweeners, I'm your host, Alexander Rodriguez, here with On the Rocks radio show, where celebrities and cocktails mix. Tonight, we have a very special doubleheader with kick-ass ladies who kick ass on TV with my kick-ass co-host. We have Broadway baby and TV star Carly Jibson is here from TBS's The Guestbook, Amazon's One Mississippi. Start binging watching them, and you're going to call in sick to work. You're just going to watch these shows. Of course, she was in Broadway on Hairspray as Tracy Turnblad, Pepper in Crybaby the Musical, with guest co-host, on-air personality Ryan Black. Then we have Bravo TV's The Real Housewives of New Jersey. OG Danielle Staub is here with celebrity hairstylist Brandon Liberati. And me, your favorite host with the deepest voice. So raise a glass and let the games begin.
And most poor suckers are starving to death.
I'd like to propose a toast.
This is On the Rocks with Alexander, coming at you live, where I drink with your favorite celebrities as we talk about fashion, entertainment, pop culture, reality TV, and, well, that's about it. So pop a cork, lean back, and raise a glass to On the Rocks.
Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy ride.
Oh, Lord. Buttons and bows and pantyhose. This is On the Rocks, the place where we're too glam to give a damn. I have come to... Yeah, right? That's the way to start.
Okay.
Yes. That's how we're doing it, Carly Jibson.
All right.
Came to a realization, and I wish I'd have come to this sooner. I thought that eating tacos was cheating on my diet. It turns out being on a diet is cheating on my tacos.
It depends on what kind of tacos you're talking
I
about.
was going to say.
None of these vegetarian tacos, no.
We don't
You're
go.
eating tacos?
Yeah, we don't do the vegan tacos.
No, I mean, it's like, why bother? It's like, this is meatless turkey. Go turkey yourself.
Yeah.
But if you don't eat the tacos, it's insulting my Latin ancestors.
I wasn't talking about that kind of taco meat.
Oh, we know. Ryan's a fan of the Latino. Yes. In fact, we have one of your Instagram
Just
pictures.
one.
It says like Taco Boy or something. I pulled that from your Instagram.
I am a Mexican food connoisseur.
Oh.
Yes, he has sampled every Mexican food.
Oh, what does that entail?
Tamale Boy. There it is. Look, that's the picture that we pulled, Ryan. You got to be careful when you're on the show because I will pull pictures.
Oh my God!
I have a picture of you
It's
and the
not
dolphins.
safe. No, you do
Yes,
not.
I do.
I will murder your whole
there
family
it
for that.
is.
Okay, that one's okay.
Yes.
Don't.
It's so cute, you
Oh my
guys.
God.
You guys look so adorable.
You guys, I have the biggest trust issues, just like in general. Ask my boyfriend, but like I have a thing about big animals and
In
and
the
just
water.
basically anything that can kill you. And so you go into this tank and it's like 40 feet deep and it gets dark down there. And any given time, there's like 16 dolphins
that's
swimming
so
around
scary
you.
to me.
And so they were like, "Oh, you guys just like get in a line," which first of all is hard to do in the water.
Yeah.
They're like, they wouldn't let him come by until we all got in a line. And I was like, "Well, Sally can't get it together." Just like an old lady, like trying to get her shit together, like with this life vest that didn't fit any of us. And so it was like a one size fits. I mean, look at that life vest. It's like it stops in the middle of my tits.
I just looked at the look on your face, and then.
But I was like, this is happening, and I was just surprised that it wasn't killing me. And
But you had a great time, though, right? It was a good experience.
It was magical. I mean, they're like dinosaur water unicorns.
Yeah,
They're incredible,
and they're so nice. They're Broadway fans.
They're big.
They do love their. They're
serve
the gay animal of the sea. Let's be honest. They're dolphins.
They really.
dolphins.
and
Yeah.
They're like gay sharks.
Yeah.
And they serve a good porpoise.
Oh, punny. That was punny AF.
I think the gay shark was.
No, how dare you with that? Don't encourage him.
You know what? You cannot get away with a punny when you stutter on it.
See,
Yeah, that
that's
was
so
rough.
true. Do you
It's
know how many
okay.
jokes I've ruined because I get so excited that I want to get to the finish line and I mess it up?
I know. I
done it too.
interrupted both of you just to give you that horribly stuttered.
And we all paused. We're like,
gonna get it
wait for
back.
it. And I'm
I
like,
have
Carly,
faith
wait
in
for
you.
this. This is my Ryan co-host. And then I was like,
You're gonna get it back.
yes,
Oh,
yes.
I am
Oh, he will.
dad
get it back.
joke central.
Okay.
Well, okay, we're going to get to this because that's Kurt's only job here. Thank you to our sober listeners for tuning in. We love you. Thank you for holding our hair back, driving us home. Drunk texting is literally the only sport that I excel at. Hello to our listeners around the nation on iHeartRadio, Universal Broadcasting Network, Player FM, Stitcher, TuneIn, Satchel, iTunes, Google Play, and Spotify. Of course, we are on Facebook Live, on Trending Now in San Diego, True FM in Ohio, and nationally on
Ohio.
On the Rocks, Ohio.
Hey, squirrel.
It's
Hey.
round on both sides and high in the middle.
You guys,
Yes,
are you
Ohio.
cold AF in Ohio right now? Like, is anyone
Probably
alive?
are, Yeah.
It's
Is
like
anyone out there?
-18. Somebody
is
did a comparison.
so cool.
It's -22 in Antarctica. and it's -18.
You better just pronounce every
Yes,
letter
I
in
know,
that
he's
fucking
so
word.
excited.
Antarctica.
I was getting really nervous.
Yeah.
I knew it was coming up, and then
It
I
was
was
so
like,
pageant of you. Antarctica.
And world peace.
and I failed voice and diction. Can you
You
imagine?
did?
Yes.
Yeah, I could see that. 'cause
You didn't
have
fail
your
anybody's
own
dick.
diction.
I hated it.
refuse.
Have you
to
seen that chair
accept
is barely keeping it alive right now?
I didn't fail diction.
Oh my God, this is a classy show, y'all, for all
Is
those
it?
Hairspray
Then you
fans.
shouldn't have had me on.
Oh.
My Lanta, that's real.
Also, nationally on the Rocks and Bear World Magazine. Check out my weekly Bear World Magazine movie news, movie reviews, and of course my celebrity interviews. And now we're on video. Kurt, we have to film that after we're done here.
Oh, I've
forgot.
seen that video, girl.
Yeah.
It's going around.
Yeah. Well, because I talk candidly about my opinions of entertainment. I don't care.
Oh, not
You know.
that video.
No, there's nothing like that. I'm the biggest prude
No.
when it comes to
Like,
that.
I rebuke you in the name of
Yeah.
Jesus.
So it's like,
No.
send me a T-shirt pic. I'm like, oh, how dare you?
I'm real paranoid that somebody's
I'm so
actually
paranoid.
taking a video. Like,
Oh, a video.
there's
well,
so many ways that you can take a
know.
video now.
Yeah, but
I
I don't.
know.
I want to send like a pic to somebody. That's what I'm paranoid at. I won't. I don't care if we're getting married. You still won't get a pic from me.
Like, I hope to
Yeah,
God
and-
somebody never.
Yeah.
I hope to God someone never films me while I'm talking to AT&T customer service. I know.
Oh my God. That is
They're
a
not a
universal problem. I have had my own conversations with AT&T. Why do we put up with it? AT&T, you suck. We all know it.
I
Awful.
become the most curmudgeon-y, like, just, this is what's wrong with America, just mad at everything.
And we take it out on the person. And it's like all they did was answer the phone. They're making
Yeah.
minimum wage. They didn't program our
No.
TV.
Well, but I've got to counter that because I've been with T-Mobile for like 15 years, like ever since cell phones were invented, and I've never
I have
left them
a beeper, you
because
guys.
they're always so nice.
well,
Like,
that's good.
How do they
Shout out T-Mobile.
Yes.
No,
seriously.
they haven't paid for any sponsorships.
T-Mo.
Oh,
No, their like CEO is like totally innovative and like.
Plus, didn't they
he's-
come out with the Sidekick? And that was like, remember the Sidekick?
Sidekick.
I had one.
We can't decide if flip phones are cool or not. Remember when they first came out? It's like,
Yeah.
oh, is that a flip phone? Because we had the slider, and then it
Yeah.
was just like, whatever. And then they were cool again, and then now they're not.
It's the drama.
iPhone's gonna have a
I miss
a
the
flip.
BlackBerry. I'm not gonna lie.
I
miss
miss my
the
BlackBerry.
Out of my BlackBerry.
So much.
I used to. I was a
Yes.
beast on that thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
I mean, only
I
rich
need to-
celebrities had Blackberries. Remember when it
Right,
first
right,
came
right,
out?
right,
And
right.
then all of a sudden it was like, Blackberry.
Yeah.
Real fast, on Bear World Magazine this week I talk about sequels. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure is coming next year. What? Ghostbusters 3, even though Ernie Hudson hasn't heard anything from the producers, but they're going ahead with it. Princess Diaries 3 is on with Julie Andrews and Anne Hathaway. Aquaman 2 is already finishing its script. Wonder Woman 3 is already starting development. And Jay and Silent Bob reboot got picked up.
What about Black Panther 2?
Yeah, that's coming
already
back,
done.
right?
Yeah, that's a done deal.
Is
Hello.
it done though? It's
Yeah,
already in the can.
The script is already being pretty much polished off.
And
The whole
Avatar.
cast-
Why is that taking them 400 years to make?
Because it's James Cameron and the script probably sucks.
Oh, I love those movies. They're so good.
Okay, everybody says they love Avatar. When's the last time
do.
you actually watched it?
I watched it like 2 months ago. I
Oh.
love it. Sigourney
Oh.
Weaver giving me that red top and like, yes.
Yes, we love Sigourney Weaver.
I mean,
Speaking of bitches who kick ass, Angelica Houston was in The Witches. Did you guys remember that movie?
No.
Jim Henson. You guys have to watch this movie. Hardly anybody knows.
You
Kurt,
lost me at
do you
Jim
know?
Henson.
Yeah. Oh, but Angelica Houston.
I love the Muppets. Don't get me wrong, but Jim
it's
Henson
not Muppet.
movies-
It's his like gory whatever. Angelica Houston plays the
like I've
Grand
heard of this.
High Witch, and it's witches that turn children into mice to eat them, and I love it. Anyway, they're doing the reboot. Robert Zemeckis is coming out of the woodworks to do it, and Anne Hathaway's taking over for Angelica Houston.
Anne Hathaway.
you guys, can we
Why
just
can't
can we
that bitch
talk
go
for
away?
a second? Can we
Yes.
talk for a second? Garrett and I, my boyfriend and I have this conversation all the time.
He's
like,
so cute, by
I'm
the way.
on the train. I'm on the train because she bugs me too, right? But I can't figure out
bugs
why.
me. I
but
can't either.
she did
Oh, okay.
nothing wrong. She is
I
beautiful.
Dreamed a Dream?
She did.
She
She
is-
hosted the Oscars. That's what she did wrong.
But like, I don't think. But
She thought she
because
was Fontaine. That's what she
tried-
did wrong.
because she tried to do something and maybe in your opinion was or wasn't successful. But like it's subjective. But because she like puts herself out there and she tries to do her best
Yeah.
work, we just like hate her for it.
No, but you always know she's
I
acting.
feel
She's always one of those like
awful
she's like a
for
cheerleader
her.
actress where she's like, I'm acting.
She's probably the nicest fucking bitch ever.
She's supportive of the LGBT community.
Right?
So
she
yes.
apparently is very nice.
She's damned if she doesn't, damned if
I'm
she
with
doesn't.
you, girl, and
Because
I've
even
been-
in Ocean's 8, when she was like
Yeah.
trying to be a cunt, she's like,
Yeah.
fine, this is what you want me to be. I didn't buy it because I was
Yeah,
like, I
didn't
bet
buy
you're
it.
not
She's
this
like-
mean.
Yeah.
She was having everybody sign her yearbook at Ocean's 11.
Right.
She's like, yeah.
I know. I'm on your same team. I'm listening to Oprah's Soulful podcast right now.
Just trying to like be less of a judgmental person
Yeah,
and like
trying to like.
2019, like
Yeah.
let's just shed all of that
Okay,
negativity.
but then let's just talk about this. We were going to save it for later in the show. Fox just did Rent Live.
Yeah, I
on
have things to
Fox.
say about that.
Okay, so since we're talking about being judgmental, here's my thing. It's okay if you don't love something that your friend is in. That's a musical. That's on TV. I get that new audiences are seeing pieces that they should. I get that. But when we're making our own social media comments on our own social media that you can click like or dislike or follow or unfollow, you don't have to say it's amazing. You don't have to say it's good.
Right.
And we should be challenging each other to say, hey, I saw your show. Not my favorite performance.
Yeah.
But, I'm glad you did it. And you challenged yourself. Didn't quite work for me. Boom. If you're asked.
Here's why it's problematic.
Okay.
Because that show for each one of us, for whoever you were and however old you were and whatever small town you were living in at the time, that was a show that individually touched and changed and was a catharsis in all of our lives. And when you see something, in that we feel like we own a piece of it, like it's ours, and we want to protect it.
Yeah.
Right.
And so when it gets passed on to a younger generation, like these kids, some of them weren't even born when it came out, die in a fire. But like when that happens, you want to share it, you want it, but you also want it to maintain that same zeal and effect that it had on you.
And
it's just right, and it just won't. And it was problematic from the beginning because when you have it on a network like that and you're going to have to tone some things down, I was kind of okay with that. I was the biggest problem I had with it was lyric changes, and not just lyric changes that said fuck,
or
like
dildo.
actual lyric changes. Like when he says in We'll See Boys, like, you want to produce in films and write songs, you need somewhere to do it. It's what we used to dream about. Think twice before you poo-poo it. They changed it to, you want to produce films and write songs, you need somewhere to protect it. It's what we used to dream about. Think twice before you reject it. And I thought, that's not your place to rewrite that.
Yeah.
Just because you're like, well, that's a weird, maybe the kids will laugh at poo-poo or whatever.
Especially when the creator is no longer with us.
That felt really bastardized to me. I was like, that's not yours to touch.
Yeah,
you want to
I
change
agree.
fuck to damn or whatever, that's fine. But compromising the integrity of the lyrics because you think you've got a better fucking idea of what it should be, that felt really disrespectful.
Yeah.
IJS.
That's
what the kids tell me that means. I'm just saying.
Radio silence, because that was really good. I couldn't have said it better myself. And I don't I have so many friends that are in theater, so it's so hard for me to criticize something like Rent on my feed because I care about them, and I care about I honestly care about what they think, and I care about their feelings. And I had a personal friend in the
This
show,
is not the
so
industry
I don't
to have feelings.
Yes, well. Yes and no. I will agree with you on that.
I think you can be both.
When you're on your personal feed, I feel like for me, there's no need for me to put that bad feeling out there towards my friend because I wouldn't say it to her face.
But here's the thing, to combat what you're saying about my personal, it is yours and it isn't yours. It's a public platform that we all know that it's a way to get visibility and make your voice louder.
Right,
that's
but
by definition,
Carly
that's
Jibson
what it
on
is.
Instagram. I follow Carly Jibson on Twitter.
But at the end of the day,
something I don't like, I can click off.
Exactly. And here's the thing. At the end of the day, I don't give a fuck if people don't like what I have to say. I'm always going to say what I want to say. It's either for you or it's not. And if it's not, I get it. We could still be friends in real life. And I have plenty of people in my life who don't like my political views.
Right.
And so, or they think it's extreme or they think whatever. So we're just not friends on Facebook. And I'm fine with that.
Views like that, I have no problem putting out there.
But
But when it involves someone personally, I'd rather just save my relationship rather than
it's big
give you my
picture at the end of the
opinion.
day, right?
Yeah.
What really matters? Is it more important to say what you need to say, or is it more important to to make your friends' feelings not hurt?
Right.
But I think there's a way to do both. I don't think you shouldn't not be allowed to, and I don't think. But just as you're critiquing something, you're going to be critiqued for your critique, right?
Every day,
and that's
all day.
just sort
Let me
of.
ask you this though. So here's how I look at these different platforms. Like Twitter, I feel so brave to say whatever I want.
I get where you're going with that.
I'm not mean.
Not
but
everybody
I feel,
uses Twitter
but
correctly.
It's like I'm not even great at Twitter, but I feel so brave in Twitter. In Facebook, I feel like
because your family's there and your grandpa doesn't know how to use Twitter.
Right.
That's why.
Yeah, exactly. In Facebook, I feel like I'm in a theater and I'm being watched. And then
Every
in
generation is
Instagram-
using Facebook on some level.
Instagram is like a weird, maybe
Like hippie sort of.
Nobody cares what
It's
you
not
say.
interactive. It's like I see your picture. I'm like, oh, that's
Well,
great.
you're not
but I
saying
don't-
as much on Instagram. You're just like showing pictures, you
Yeah.
know, and you can put something below, but like
Yeah.
who reads that?
Yeah, that's
It's
exactly right.
interesting what these different platforms
But you're right.
do for your different parts of your brain, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No,
It's
absolutely.
so different, and as entertainment people, we know how we have to be on each of those platforms
Yeah.
to get the likes, to get shares,
Right.
all that. So, but you guys are being very like nice and friendship wise about like posting about rent.
Oh, I don't
Right.
think so. I don't. Here's the thing. I think you're allowed to say. I mean, I saw tons of people being critical, and then I saw people being like, "Why are we critical? This
Yeah.
is we're creating a
I got
bad
attacked.
dialogue, and like this is all of a sudden." I was like, "No, we're not." I mean, listen,
Yeah.
you can feel however you want to feel about it. Art is meant to be subjective. It touches everybody differently and invokes a different feeling in all of us, and you're allowed to express that. You don't agree, you don't agree. But we have come to some sort of thing that's like, if you're not for me, you're against me. That's just a mentality in general
That's
that we've
interesting.
adapted
That's our
as a
climate right now.
generation.
Yeah.
If you're not for me, you are against
really
me. And we're not
interesting.
allowed to think differently about fucking anything, including a live fucking musical.
That's
Like, it's
really true.
become that combative. It's so ridiculous to me. So I'm like, let people think and feel. If you're somebody who didn't want to, okay. I'm not like pussy. If you wanted to, I'm not like, what an asshole. I'm like, you chose what you chose. Live your fucking life. That's not my business.
I can offer two criticisms of it.
Just
safely.
do one because we have
Well,
short
one, I'd like to say that hot piece of ass, Brendan Hunt, who
He was wonderful.
lost-
I thought he was
lost
a
his
great
leg.
Roger.
I thought he was fantastic.
And I wasn't mad that it wasn't live. It is what it is. Although
And then
have
I went-
understudies, it's theater.
And then I went on his Instagram,
See,
and he's
that's-
then I
that's-
went on his Instagram, and he's like kind of godly and religious and sort of.
That's fine. You can be religious and still hot.
I know, but I judge
and
people
gay.
like that too. I do.
yeah,
I'm
Because
yeah.
so
our
judgmental.
I just
our
didn't
walls
want
are
it- I
like
just
your
didn't want it
character
to
in
be so
One
godly.
Mississippi. That dinner scene where we first found out that your character was like, "Oh, I don't believe in dinosaurs." I'm like, my whole connection with you and my joy of the exuberance and your character being so wonderfully
Yeah, as soon
delicious.
as you found out she was a Jesus freak, you're like, God damn it.
It put me.
It hurts you a little bit.
It raised my walls, and then it went further. It's like, oh, she chose to be gay because she looks like that. My whole experience with your character totally changed, and this is it. I was so reflective on One Mississippi, and I cannot believe that Amazon canceled it because they wanted to be more mainstream. Bitches, whatever.
Amazon can suck it.
Yeah.
And you know what, Amazon? You're really sucking at the deliveries while we're at it because they're delivering to.
They
all
had
kinds
the
of
holidays, whatever.
No. But wait, you segued into One Mississippi
No,
when we were
because-
talking
but
about
what she's saying
Broadway,
is
and
it's-
she's
it's
like a
one
huge
way-
Broadway performer.
No, I know.
I get she's now
We're
a
gonna talk,
famous
but believe
actress.
it, you
but
guys, we haven't even gotten to the thank you to our sponsor. But real fast.
Is
but I
it
wanna
over
say,
already?
No. But I'm going to say, but your comment about it's either this or it's that, you're right, and that was my experience in watching that character
Right.
that I thought was going to be my best friend that I wanted to hang out
We're
with.
all guilty of it, though. It really is, and I think it's anytime something, you're on board to a certain point until something like that it just makes you get you're skeptical. You know what I mean? And things like that, things like religion, things like politics. Those are the things. Those are my kind of red flags with people because my past experience has led me to feel one way or another. But that's like as we evolve, as we grow up, we're supposed to like become more open-minded. That's like it's supposed to be the whole thing. But like, and I'm trying, but it is very hard. But that was the thing. Like with One Mississippi, I tried to approach that because it was so hard, right? Like she's a Jesus freak. She's very anti-gay. That's like couldn't be further from me.
Well,
I'm just
obviously,
I'm
yeah.
the Antichrist.
It's so different from the Guestbook, by the way.
And so, but I thought, you know what? I know this woman because I grew up in the South, and I was like, these women, they are. It's not that you're making allowances for them, but they know what they know. They know the world to be it as they know it. Their exposure levels are very low to people like this, especially in positive experiences. And they believe that book because that is what makes them feel safe. And so their intentions might be good, but their education is low. Their experience is low. Their exposure is low. So what I wanted to do was to make sure that I portrayed her in a way that didn't feel disrespectful, like I was trying to shit on those people or villainize those people in any way, but to make her relatable and be like, look,
You totally did that, too.
she has good intentions. She only knows what she knows, and this is the world that she lives in until she becomes exposed to it. And it would have been more fun to explore in other
that's what I
seasons
wanted.
what that relationship with Tig would have been like as time went on.
I love that you saw it that way, though.
Yeah.
Like, I love that you just explained it that way because as I said, I've been listening to Oprah's Soulful podcast. And
She's so relatable.
She just had
With her goddamn frozen pieces that she's never eaten.
No, she
Don't be mad,
just
it's Oprah.
literally had. She's doing this whole Eckhart Tolle thing, and he was just talking about this, about how, we're right now in society, we're playing hate against hate.
Yeah.
It's really not, we're not really exposing what we truly are believing, because we're hating so much.
Right.
Because we're not putting ourselves in others' shoes.
Right.
We're not seeing other people for what they are and what they've been exposed to.
Yeah.
So when you say, she didn't know any better, because she hasn't been shown any better.
Right. And it is, I do think, our responsibility to give those people, it's not different. So I grew up in a town in Muskegon that it was been on the map as one of the 10 most segregated cities in America, right? There's literally a highway called Seaway Drive that separates the white community from the black community. Wow. And when I go home and I see this just racial divide and all of it's so tumultuous and it's so angry, it's so heated, and it's just like on the brink of this like terrible, outbreak of possibly like a civil war or whatever, I get really frustrated because I live in a bubble. I lived in New York, I live in Los Angeles, and I live in this very liberal bubble where I'm like jarred by that reality. I'm like, God, how are you guys still living like this? I feel very judgmental when I go home. I'm like, you guys are in the fucking dark ages, like get with it. But then I look, I'm like, these people have the exposure and the experience that they do. This is what they know, and they're all really afraid on both sides. And fear is a very difficult emotion to let anything else other than anger break through, because anger is the armor that covers fear, right? So,
oh my God,
Harley, where's your TED Talk, by the way?
Why are you on Oprah's Soulful Podcast?
Oh my God, I
you
want to
guys,
be on Oprah.
the first musical TED Talk.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
How does that work?
It's like a one-woman show that's a TED Talk, and then you sing.
I memean, fine, produce it.
Yeah, okay, done.
That's a horrible
Done.
idea.
Okay, no, I think it's amazing. The first ever musical
up,
TED Talk.
we're doing it.
The only thing I want to say about the live on musicals, and I'm a proponent of get the best actor for the job, and that's why the whole Scarlett Johansson playing a trans
Angel,
character.
that was
that's
what did it for me.
Oh,
That did it for
that
me.
pissed me
Right.
off. That was my one critique.
And I got a lot of hate email because I said Scarlett should have done it because the movie was going to get told and she was the best actress, or find me another A-lister trans actor, which they're not there right now. We have a lot of work to do, and I get that. But the best actor for the job should be, it's called acting. The best singer-performer should have been cast in Rent Live.
It is a
Exactly.
very difficult role.
Stunt casting.
It was stunt casting. It's a very complicated role. She has to sing high. She has to play those drums.
She has to rap.
Angel is the heart and soul
and
of
I'm
Rent.
not just
right?
talking about Angel either.
No, but Angel is the heart and soul of Rent. That is she.
Yes,
Really, she's
yes.
what brings them together. She's what keeps them together even after her passing. And
totally.
so that is such an important character. And I felt very let down by that, just because I was like,
it was stunt casting for somebody that's known
it
to not
felt
be
irresponsible.
sincere.
Like, I know that sounds almost like really elitist, but it felt irresponsible to be like, you didn't take care of this character, and you should
Jonathan
have.
Larson would have said no in 2 seconds.
I mean,
No, I thought that they knew something that I didn't know, because I was like, first of all, how do you know that she has this talent? And then, obviously they had
she's
her
a
audition.
huge following.
No, I know. She has over
I think this might
1.2
have-
million followers on Instagram
Right, but
alone.
this actually put a
And she's
speed
a fierce
bump
queen.
in her
I'm not
career.
taking
Yeah.
away
But
from her
it is
actual talent.
disgusting.
I'm just
This
saying
is disgusting.
she wasn't
I'm not
good
going
at
to
this.
go do a modeling contest tomorrow.
But
That's
neither
not
am
what
I.
I'm gonna do.
But this kind of
So-
shit,
Stay in your lane.
This kind of shit has to stop.
It
When
does.
you
Right.
don't, when you don't have heart. I'm not saying that she doesn't have heart. I'm sure that
Well,
she's
scientifically it was
I'm not gonna
proven
speak
there's
on
no
that.
heart there.
No. Let's because we don't know her. But what
I
I'm
think
saying
she tried.
Is,
I
what
think
I'm
she
saying
really
is
tried. I just don't
you-
think it was at par of a level that should have been. Where I just don't think it was good enough.
Listen.
That's just my opinion.
Coming from,
Be best.
I'm a veteran. You're a veteran. We spent years and years and years trying to perfect a craft so that we can be the best we can possibly be for people who spend $300 for a seat.
Right.
Yep.
Well, that's the thing. You guys, this isn't a participation sport. Broadway is not a
Yeah.
fucking participation sport. You don't get a ribbon for showing up and trying really
It's
hard.
hard
That's not
fucking
what this
work.
industry is. It is about being the best. Like, I'm sorry to say that because I know everybody wants to be like, well, isn't trying half the battle?
No.
it
No,
isn't.
it's
Not in
not.
an industry where you have to perform live, where you're singing and you're dancing
Yeah.
and you have years of training.
And you're against 10 other people that look just like you.
you do not
She
get
didn't
a
have the
gold
she
star
didn't
for
have the
trying
false-
hard.
She didn't have the falsetto. She didn't have the vibrato.
But
she
even
didn't
the
have,
chemistry.
She didn't have She didn't have the pitch.
I was just mad about the flat, like the.
It was awful.
I was just mad.
was
I was
so-
mad, and I love Valentina. I'm a huge Valentina fan
Me too.
outside of this.
And what
Like,
she does.
Yeah, I mean, I really do. She's a fierce queen. She's fucking beautiful. But
This is what I wanted to say on Facebook.
No.
But I just couldn't say it.
Okay, real fast.
Couldn't say it. But oddly, I feel safe saying it here.
say it.
It's on the rocks.
just
But we're
did.
known for talking, and see, your fans get to see you in a different light. They get to hear this kind of conversation that we should be having. Instead of attacking each other on Facebook, this is what should be
Right.
happening.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's probably why. Is because on Facebook, if I say something, I know that it's just going to be an endless myriad of like odd opinions that never get interpreted correctly
Right,
because
right.
nobody people see
And some people
different
have
things.
too much time, by the
when
way.
you're reading something, they see like they just pull out
Well, and
whatever
there's
the
such a
fuck they wanna
fine
pull
line
out.
between perception and intention.
Yeah.
Totally.
And it gets so
Like
fucking
if I
muddled.
text you
I
something, or I'm
I
saying
honestly
something,
come from love, and I don't
Right.
mean Valentina.
But anybody
any
that actually knows you
Same.
knows that there's not a mean bone in your body.
No, there really isn't.
So they would know
I'm
that
not,
what you're
I'm
saying.
coming from love, but I just find it's just so frustrating when we live in such a very competitive world.
Yeah.
When there are people out there working their asses off
who really
and then
deserve
you
a shot,
choose
maybe
someone-
because they don't have
you-
1.1 million followers
you
on
choose
Instagram.
someone simply because they have over a
But there's
million
also the
followers.
business side. Who's writing the check to say this is going to happen?
And I get it too, and they have to listen. They need to make sure to ensure that they have ratings, and I get it, but I don't know. At the end of the day, was the compromise worth it? That's for them to answer.
Yeah.
You guys, this could be like a whole show. Carly Jibson, whatever church you're starting, I'm a part of it. Call it the Bitches of Nazareth, and I am in. Okay, a big shout out to our sponsor, Vista Grinda Resort, an oasis in the oasis of Palm Springs. 29 rooms, over 1 acre of land, with rooms ranging from 250 square feet to the luxurious full apartment that I stay in when I visit. 2 pools, a lagoon, and a waterfall. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner served to you. And you get to meet people from all over. It's an amazing resort. There's even a steam room where you can meet the other guests.
I want to go. I've never been to Palm Springs.
You haven't?
No, can you believe
my
that?
God.
Girl.
I know, and I'm like,
We're taking you to Palm Springs.
I
Yes.
want to go so bad. Everybody
Done.
keeps telling me, like,
Done.
how have you never been to Palm
We're
Springs?
going to do an On the Rocks. Kurt, pack your bags. Anyway, go to VistaGrandeResort.com to book your stay. Okay. Los Angeles Blade. Thank you to the Los Angeles Blade. I was named runner-up as Best of LA Local TV Personality.
Yes.
I'm runner-up to James Corden, by the way. Yes, girl. So
I have a huge problem with this.
I know. So if he gets pushed down the stairs, I have to assume my duties as Best of Queen.
I don't understand
It's
it.
LGBT and allies, so he's James Corden.
No,
I just think we should be put in a different position. I mean,
Yes, why? There's no...
He's another one people love to hate. I hear
No,
people
no,
hate
I
on
love
him
him.
all the
I've never heard
time.
I
anything
love him.
bad about
Really?
him.
Oh, I hear people like hate on him all the time, and I'm like, I
why?
think he's kind of
No,
quirky and
I
fun.
love
Yeah.
James Corden, but here's
He
my
doesn't
problem.
try to be anything. He just is.
The title was Best LGBT
Right.
Personality.
Right. And you're not gay.
It
you're
changed because
married.
it was Best of LA, and then they added Best of LA LGBT.
But
semantics.
Yeah.
but it's a gay magazine.
I know what they were doing. Because they put local people. I mean, how am I going to be on the same level as James Corden?
It's the same situation though, where they're trying
But they thought
to
that
draw
maybe the
in-
studio would have thrown money, or he would have shown up. Anyway, okay. Anyway,
Did
but
he
thank
show
you. No, I wasn't.
Can you hear this?
I wasn't even there. Yes.
Can you hear this?
All right, theater hands, since we're talking about musical theater, if you are in Southern California, run, don't walk. Tickets are selling out for Sweeney Todd at South Coast Rep in Orange County.
Love
this
Sweeney
is the
Todd.
Oh my God, this is the 7th time that South Coast Rep has produced a Stephen Sondheim musical. This production is done. That was my audition for Chapman University. Except I did an original key.
We're trying to show off in front of Carly. But.
E flat. It's done with 11 amazing actors. It's a diverse cast, so I'm actually going to see it on Thursday. It runs until
Starring
February
Valentina.
16th. Yeah, right. As the beggar woman.
As Sweeney Todd.
Arms for my career. Anyway, go to scr.org to get your tickets. I will share more next week after I see it. Our website has been updated. You don't need to go anywhere else to find the show. OnTheRocksRadioshow.com. You can see all the videos. You can listen to it at the gym, in the car. Mama Rose is in the chat room
On the
UPN.
car.
On the car.
Anytime
Not
you're
in
on
the
your car,
When
just
I take
doing
an
like a
Uber-
white snake video moment,
Just
put
like
it on
you
in the
said, you
background.
were in the Broadway.
Yes,
In
in
the
the Broadway,
Broadway.
on Hairspray.
In the
I
Broadway.
caught that in the
Oh my
beginning
God.
too, and I was like, I was inside it.
Fake news, you guys. No, when
Listen, you.
I go. That was last week.
Is that racial appropriation? I never know anymore.
Right? But when the Uber says, you can sit up front, I'm like, no, bitch, I'm sitting on the roof. Mama Rose is in the chat room on ubngo.com and Facebook. Ask her a question. She's done her research. If it's a burning question, she will ask it to me, and I'll announce it on the air. Kurt, real fast, do you have your pun? This is Kurt's spotlight. Got to give straight people some time in the theater.
Yeah, come on.
Real fast, Kurt. Pun.
Okay, so my wife asked me to wear a skirt. I must admit, I killed it.
Sorry.
Do you have a wife, though?
Yes.
Okay, good.
They have stuff.
Otherwise, that got really sad. No, I was curious. You know, because it's always like you tell jokes first person.
No. Kurt's wife is amazing. They do Harry Potter role play in the bedroom.
Oh, some cosplay.
Yes. There was one
Are you a
night-
Ron or are you Harry?
Oh, he's pretty hairy.
I am a Weasley, yes.
Oh, you're a Weasley. That's okay.
He's such a
I figured.
Weasley, which is great because he always has my back. There was one night that we partied too much in the green room, and I had to crash at his house with his wife, and she's like, "What the holy hell? Oh, welcome to our abode. Here's your wand." They literally gave me a wand to hold. Anyway, that sounded weird, by the way. Like us on Twitter and Instagram at On the Rocks on Air, Facebook On the Rocks Radio Show. Send me an email. Book me for a wedding, funeral, quinceanera, bris. I don't care. I will show up. Info at ontherocksradioshow.com. I'm going to get through this real fast. Glitter Bomb. We're not going to go through the whole thing. Glitter Bomb is on TV, broadcasting over 22 million homes. That's a show that I'm co-hosting. Go to latv.com/glitterbomb to find out what channel we are. We don't need to do the whole thing. Want to join On the Rocks on the Road Wednesday, February 6th. I'm guest judge for Spotlight, the drag competition in Palm Springs at Hunter's at 8:30 p.m. with the fabulous Rusty Waters. I get to be a drag race judge, only funny. February 17th, I am a judge for the United States of America beauty pageants in Las Vegas. Toddler, teens, Miss, Ms., and Mrs. If they're doing all of the age ranges.
Can I just follow you around? Because all of those things are up my alley.
I told them, I'm like, I'm going to be an honest judge. I'm not going to be like, great tan. I'm going to be like, are you fried?
Your flipper
Yes,
sucks.
right. So if you're in
like,
Vegas,
I see your lace front.
Yeah.
Pull your edges down.
You're like, I see yours. I'll be like, touche. But I'll be in Vegas on February 17th. So come to the pageant or let's hang out. Send me a message. Let me formally introduce our cast for the night. I'm going to do an abridged version. Ryan, you've been here so many times.
We haven't even been introduced yet?
I know. Ryan's talents are design, acting. He's designed for such notable clients as Elton John, Elizabeth Taylor, Tom Ford, Gucci, several others. He started his career as a lead performer in Broadway musicals, touring all 50 U.S. states and worldwide. He has authored a novel that he's currently editing. He's a contributing writer for Huffington Post. His work as an interior designer was seen on Shaw's of Sunset, making over your good friend and my good acquaintance, Mercedes MJ Javid. Most recently, Ryan hosted his own radio show on Channel Q, produced by Entercom. Look for a possible duet cabaret show. Anyway, welcome, Ryan Black.
Just kidding.
Yay!
That was an abridged version?
Yes. Well,
You're so generous.
you guys, I'm really
amazing.
like that conversation we just had was pretty damn good. Carly Jibson, been waiting for this moment. Carly Jibson can be seen in season 1 and 2 of the Guestbook. She had 2 series airing back to back. The #1 new cable comedy of 2017, The Guestbook by Grey Garcia, My Name is Earl, and Raising Hope, of course, on TBS. And the 100% Rotten Tomatoes scored season 2 of One Mississippi by Tig Notaro, who we love, on Amazon. She has starred on Broadway in Crybaby as Pepper, Hairspray as Tracy Turnblad. In the national tour, she originated the role on the national tour, then came back to Broadway to do it for 2 years.
Yes, Queen.
She co-starred for you locals at Rockwell in Scream with Modern Family Sarah Hyland. She released her debut EP, Best of Me, which you guys, you can hear clips on YouTube. We're actually going to end the show by listening to the track. It's such a departure of what you've heard from her from the musicals. You guys, it is a listen, and it's on iTunes. And of course, you can hear her on the original soundtrack, or original cast album. Sorry, you can't say soundtrack. Crybaby. We've
can't say
waited and
soundtrack?
waited.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and she is here. Welcome, Carly Jibson.
You guys, that
Carly,
was
we got so many questions for you, and I want to say we're going to ask
Fire 'em
Carly
up.
some of the different questions because you can go on YouTube and see her other interviews where she answers all the same questions. That's not what we do here. So
Sometimes I do get interview questions where I'm like, have you ever looked up any other interviews to see if this question's been asked before, or did you just copy and paste those?
well, but sometimes as an interviewer, like
I have
your
not done
viewers
either.
they should be able to click in to just get the bases covered.
Right.
But that's not what we do here. I just gave you her resume. So I want to talk about, and we got this from a young actress on the CW.
Okay.
She wants to know, you kind of were pulled at such a young age, at the age of 16. Here you are doing a national tour of a role that everybody has seen and lauded on Broadway. Hairspray hit the scene with such this energy, which I love this energy because it was positive. It gave the message under this whole exuberant. High schools were doing it all over the place. Mainstream audiences were coming to see this message, and they didn't realize the messages that were actually coming through. You being so young, having to take this role on a national tour, by the way, how did your young self even comprehend that? I can't even imagine. And what was the audition like?
I didn't comprehend it, to be honest, and it's actually it's really funny because I first got the call. I had done I'd done a regional theater of a world premiere show called Crash Nation. Yep, and it was written by 3 gentlemen from New York: Bill Castellino, Bill Whitefield, and Christopher McGovern. And it was very irreverent. It was like 8 kids. It was like Rent meets Stomp meets Schoolhouse Rock, but it was
And
like
13. That movie. Did you remember that movie?
Yes,
13?
yes,
Yeah.
yes. And it was like 8 kids, 4 boys, 4 girls, all the ages of 16 to 21, and we dealt with like losing your virginity and coming out and the Columbine murders and suicide and abortion and like all of these really
Light
difficult just a sensible show to bring your grandmother to. And so, you know, it was like this, it had a lot of hype around it, and we got extended through the whole summer, and we were being paid. It was like the time of my life. Yeah. And I met some of my lifelong friends. And so during that is when they were talking about moving the show to New York, and not with us, but just in general. So this agent had come and seen it. And so later on that fall, I got a call I was at school, and I remember my mom like showed up at the school. It was like very dramatic. And I had thought like somebody had died because I had lost like 6 people that year. It was like really strange. And so I was like, fuck, who died? And so my mom comes in, and like, this is how naive she like, comes in and she's like, Broadway called. So like, we thought it was like a headquarters. That, like,
Broadway call.
Broadway. It's like Corky from Waiting for Government. We
Yeah.
may be going to Broadway.
Exactly that.
I love your mom.
And I was like, okay. And so, you know, we just thought like it was like a corporation, like a headquarters. They were like, hello, is this the home of Golly Jibson? We'd like to offer her a role on Broadway. Pack your bags, kid. You're going to be great. And so I was like, yes, obviously that. Very that.
God.
And so we called them back, and of course, in fact, when we called, we asked for Hairspray. It was a whole dumb thing. We were actually calling Brett Adams' agency. And so, anyways, long story short, they were like, yes, we saw you in the show this summer, and there's this new show coming out. They're doing workshops of it right now, but we think you'd be really right for it. Would you be interested in coming? And I was like, yeah, now. And they were like, no, have a seat, have several. Not yet. You know, we'll let you know. And so, of course, I went back. I told everybody. It was like very exciting. And then I got the word that they're like 2 months later, and I was trying to figure out if I was like going to go to college, although high school was kind of kicking my ass. So I had like 81 absent like days my senior year of high school, and
School's not for everybody, and it's okay.
There was like no world where I was going to take college. Like that wasn't a thing. And so I got the call. They were like, they're going to use the girl they've been using in the workshops, Marissa, but the show's going to be a hit. They know it. There's probably going to be talk of a tour. And that was like all I needed to hear. So I threw a fake graduation party for myself. I told everyone in my family I was taking these correspondence classes. I was not.
Oh my God.
And that I was going to graduate early, and I threw a party, and I took that money for my graduation party, and I moved to New York City with it.
Oh,
It's very diabolical.
Have
Like,
any of them asked for their money back? They're like, remember that card I gave you with $5?
I mean, yeah, exactly. They're like, I was like, well, I did use it and put it to good use. So I went to New York. I moved in with a friend of mine who I'd met doing Crash Nation the year before. And he had just graduated. His name was Leonard. Lovely.
Wait, so how old were you?
I was 17.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when I moved to New York. I was 17 too.
But what 17-year-old nowadays has that chutzpah, has that...
But it was naivety, and in the best way, though. Like, it was, I didn't know, like, outside of my mom being like, I watched Law & Order, like, gung, gung, like, you can't go. Because rape is around every corner. And I was like, that's fine. But I don't know. It was it was silly, and it didn't make a lot of sense, and I didn't have the logistics figured out, but it was just that drive that like, I know I meant to do this, and I don't care, and I'm going, and I don't care if anybody thinks it's a bad idea, and wasn't really looking for anyone's permission. And my mom kind of knew she couldn't stop me. Like so all she could do was try to help me at that point, because she was like, well, you're going.
You can't beat him, join him.
So I moved in with Leonard, and then I got the call to go in and audition for the tour, and I had about 10 auditions over about, they can't do this to anymore, but over about 7 months period of time. Now they have to start paying you for auditions, which is, I think, is very smart.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
If you're going up
Yeah,
for,
because if you can't make up your
But when
fucking
did that
mind.
change?
if you're going, like 5 or 6 years ago, if you're going for a lead role and they
I didn't
ask
know
you to
that.
come in after 3 or 4 times, they have to start paying you.
Brilliant.
Shows
Which
you
is
how many
great.
lead roles I'm up for.
Because you should make up your mind.
You should make up your mind. And well, here's the thing. I got it with
Yeah,
me.
but this show
They were
had
trying
some
to vet
heft.
me as well, to be like, I mean,
Yep.
they were like, is this a fluke?
Yeah.
Can she really carry
'Cause you
this
were so
show?
young.
Is she going to be able to handle this? Because the longest run I'd ever done up in that point was like playing Adelaide over the weekend in high school in Guys and Dolls.
I would
got
love
the
to
horse
see
right
Adelaide, by the way.
There is video of it. I was going to say tape. It is a tape.
Well,
Well,
What
it's
a
funny you
perfect
mentioned that, because I
segue.
got it
Yeah.
right here.
we got it.
The original cast of Guys and Dolls.
Johnny, play the clip.
We're in LA right now.
Imagine.
Sorry, Kurt.
So then it was
Ryan.
it was later that spring, and I finally got the call. It came down to 4 of us. It was myself, Kayla Settle, Kathy Breyer, and Shannon
Kayla
Durek.
Settle was up
She
for
was my
two?
understudy on the first national.
What was your
Are you
first
friends with her?
audition?
We
song?
are friends.
Okay, then I won't say anything.
No, you can speak your piece.
That was not. It was not good in Rent. It wasn't good.
Anyway.
Listen.
What was your
Oh
first
my God.
I would never
audition
attempt that
song?
solo. You
Listen.
sang all songs from the show. We sang we had to sing all the Tracy.
So you didn't get to audition
This is
with your
not
own
normal. This
piece?
is not normal. What happened to you?
No, it's not.
It's not
It's
normal.
not normal at all. And I finally got the call that, so basically we knew the 4 of us were going to go somewhere. We just didn't know exactly where. And so because we knew Marissa was leaving the show and that they were looking for a new Tracy on Broadway and an understudy, and then a tour Tracy and an understudy. So we knew we were all going somewhere. And then I got the call that I was going to be originating the tour. Kayla was going with me. And then Kathy Breyer was going to take over for Marissa. Shannon Durga was going to become her understudy. So then I went out on the road. And listen, again, there's nothing that prepares you. Like, it's just... I don't know. I just went into it and I was like, I learned it and I did it. And then it wasn't until we were about like a month or 2 into it that I was like, I'm really tired. Do I have to keep doing this for a whole other year? And it just started to be like, I don't know. And that made me sad, and that made me upset with myself. I had a lot of guilt feelings about being like, I'm kind of over it. Like,
No, can I just interject just for a second?
Yes, of course.
I can relate to you so hard right now, and I didn't even have as much responsibility.
Tracy in Hairspray?
No.
Oh.
But even in my shows, I played 2 lead characters, but I didn't have nearly as much to do as you did in your show. But touring is exhausting.
it's exhausting.
But
Your
here's
only
the
day
thing.
off, you're usually traveling.
It's exhausting.
But here's also the thing: it's not only is it exhausting,
it's exhausting to
extremely-
do it on Broadway in a sit down.
Yeah.
But
it is.
But it's so lonely too.
It is
you
lonely.
make-
It's very
you make
isolating.
Your family with who you're traveling
Yeah.
with, but at the same time you're traveling. You don't actually get to enjoy the city that you're in.
No, because
And
you
you're
gotta
kind of
keep,
on
you can't lose your voice. You can't get sick.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't, the thing that I love the most about my life now is like, if I hear somebody cough from like a Spitz throwaway, I used to be like, oh, gee, who's
yeah.
fucking sick? Like, and you're just like a crazy person. And now it's just like a very different freeing experience. But so it was tough. I just dealing with those feelings of being like, and also I kind of expected when my dream came true for my life to change in this really magnificent way, and it kind of didn't. And that was also a big realization. It's just a lot of growing up. That experience for me was hard knocks, because I just had to go through it. And then I got pulled off of the road about 6 months in. We were in Denver, and I found out that Kathy was leaving the show, and then Harvey was leaving the show, and they were worried, like, Harvey's the heart and soul. What are we going to do? And so they were bringing in Michael McKeon, and they wanted to bring me in.
I love him.
Oh, I love him too. And they wanted to completely they stopped the show for a couple days. They cleaned the whole show up, and then they reopened it with a whole new, that's how I got my New York review. They reinvited the press. It was like a whole thing.
That's smart, by the way.
It was like a whole revamp, because they were like, we need to put some fresh air in here because they were terrified. Because Harvey was the heart and soul of it. I mean,
What were those nerves like, though? When it's like,
oh,
they
you want
shut
to
down
hear
their
the best?
show?
I didn't know what to be scared of. Like, I will never forget. It was like opening night.
I was actually at the closing night with Harvey.
Oh, were you?
I totally
so
forgot.
I was there that night.
I just
Did you go to the
remembered.
party?
I didn't go to a
I was
party.
coked out of my mind at that party. This is back when
Oh.
I was a very bad girl.
Oh
This
my
is
God.
also like a whole different side of like, yeah, because that was the other thing too. Like when
Good
I got
morning,
You
Baltimore.
know the first contract I ever got was a singer on Celebrity Cruises, and my co-lead was Corey Reynolds,
Oh, sure. I love Corey.
Yeah.
It's the best.
Real fast.
who played Seaweed.
Carly, from the chat room, who was your very first inspiration?
Oh, Jesus. Like ever. I mean, early days, I watched a lot of SNL, Gilda Radner, Lucille Ball.
Yes.
How old are you, girl?
I know. I'm 1,000.
You're ageless.
No, Audrey Hepburn. I loved just how regal and sort of understated she was, but just powerful.
Well, you've channeled in the guest book, yeah. Very-
Yes. I'm very much giving you nothing but Audrey Hepburn.
You got an old soul, girl.
But yeah, Chris Farley, I loved big, sort of, I mean, especially with just physical comedy. So I mean, housekeeping. But yeah, just anybody, honestly, who I mean, my favorite movie. I remember when I was like 5 years old or 6 years old, like in the first grade, and they ask you like, you're doing your show and tell, they're like, "What's your favorite movie?" And I was like, "The Color Purple." That was my favorite movie as a child. I mean,
It's
that's
so
like a
uplifting.
real thing.
No, it really is, actually.
But I was so inspired by just storytelling and performances and things
It's not the story, because we don't know that that's not our story, right?
Right.
Until somebody tells us, well, that's not your story.
I just loved it. It was gospel music and the sisters, and of course, as you get older, you're like, wow, that was really fucking dark, and like, there's some shit going on here, and I'm sorry to everyone. But yeah, I mean, it's fun. Like, I just didn't know to be afraid.
It's probably better.
Well, it is better. I mean, I'll tell you, I miss that fearlessness. I remember on our opening
fear,
night,
as Oprah says, is the main
mean,
thing
it
that
is.
stops people.
It is. It absolutely is. I mean, I had no knowledge of the industry whatsoever. Our opening night, somebody was like, "Ben Brantley's here," and I was like, "Oh, is that your uncle?" Like, I didn't know who anybody was. But that was sort of the charm, I think, if in a very hubris way, if I can say, like, I think about me at the time was that, like, I didn't know who Patti LuPone is. I didn't grow up with theater. I grew up with rock and roll. Yeah. And so those were sort of my influences. I fell into musical theater sort of naturally because there were no openings for like a 2.5-foot lead singer of a rock and roll band at the time. And so I just fell into musical theater by proxy, but I was never really like entrenched in it in that way. And so I just didn't know this world, but I just thought it was so cool. And of course, having this experience, I learned so much. But I will say it was when I was on tours when I started getting panic attacks. Now, I'd never heard of that word before, right? I didn't know what that was. I had no knowledge of it, and I'll never forget. And to this day, and I talked to my therapist that I've had for 15 years.
Our apologies.
She's amazing. We're still together. She got me through my drug problem, all the things. But like, I was like.
Here I am, I'm like, what drinks shall
No,
our
I'm
lady
not
have?
sober. I just don't do coke anymore. Which means I'm also not a lesbian anymore. Coke made me such a lesbian. I don't know. It just did. And so he knows.
I thought he was a lesbian. No, just kidding. He's wearing a sweater. I didn't know.
But yeah, I just I miss being fearless, and it's really hard as you get older and you experience loss and disappointment, and you become tarnished
and criticism,
and
everything.
everything,
And you actually get to learn. We have shows that are canceled, and there's all these ups and downs.
And it's not even so much that I don't give a shit about the sort of exterior judgment. It's my own judgment that I deal with the most, that hits me harder than anything. Like, there's nothing anybody could say or think about me that I haven't already thought and felt about myself. And so my relationship with myself is probably, I don't want to say it's tumultuous, like I've worked on it over the years, but that's the hardest one. Like, I don't give a fuck if somebody's like, I didn't really like you in the guest book. I'm like, bitch, live your life. I don't give a fuck. Like, move along. Be gone before somebody drops a house on you. Like, I do not
things
care.
don't ever bother me.
It's not that. It's like, I have fears of like letting people down.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to let anybody
Yeah.
down. So the moment there becomes pressure and expectation for me to do something or be something, I become like, the best and worst day of my life always is when I book something. It's the best day and it's the worst day because it's the moment all of the what ifs. What if I let them down? What if I'm not good enough? What if I don't? You know what I mean? Like, and then I had these irrational fears. Like I told my publicist when we first met, they were like, I was like, I don't do well with like live interview stuff. I get very nervous and whatever. And they were like, really? And I was like, yeah. I mean, it's a real thing. I suffer from panic disorder really bad. And they were like, well, can I ask you like, what's your fear? And I was like, my fear is that like, I don't know, like I'm just gonna like explode or something. And she was like, if you can explode on cue, that's actually, we could do something with that.
Oh my God, we get so many good ratings.
She was like, we could actually work with that. So if you actually want to explode on camera, that's fine. But yeah, it really comes down to that.
But you've also talked about very much that also gave you like your discipline and your structure so that when you go to a TV set, we know a TV set, you're kind of on your own.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, okay, let's film this. Let's get 1 take, 2 takes. Especially with TV, it's like, let's get it in as quick as we can.
Yeah.
So you have to do a lot of your own work. You have to be disciplined on your own. Nobody tells you, hey, don't go out the night before. Doing a Broadway show.
Right.
Yeah, it's like you have call time, you have warm-ups, you have all that. You know that you have to do that. TV is like, show up and do
the best thing for my nerves.
TV is like, okay,
yeah.
You're so cute.
Well, it's weird too. I mean, the best thing for my nerves that I've found over the years is just to be prepared as possible. It helps me. Like, and I'll never be the girl who can go in and wing it. I'll make myself crazy, whatever I have to do to just like have everything down. But that's that theater background. You know what I mean? Because I remember when my first day on set at the Guestbook, and I was very nervous. Of course, I was like, and I was okay until I got on set and I saw all these different cameras and all these people with all these different jobs and everything was pointed at me. And I thought, oh my God, everybody's job right now exists solely on the fact that like I have to do what I was paid to do correctly.
But there's also
and that
nobody
terrified
there, like,
the
holding your
shit out of
hand
me.
saying,
Right.
it's going to be okay, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
It's lonely when that all...
It was, and I was just like,
I would
oh
imagine,
my God,
I'm living
don't
through you right
fuck
now.
up. I was like, this is it. Like, just, I don't know. And then what I was waiting for, which never happened, and my sort of... what I've heard from people is like, you get more of this in film. But I was waiting for the director to come over and be like, okay, so in this moment, we're really none of that.
No.
Just here's your mark and like try to get it in within this amount of time and like make sure you keep.
Good luck.
I was like,
Director will come over and be like, our
God.
Cheez-It advertisers are here. If you could eat a couple of Cheez-Its,
Right,
that'd be
like-
great. And everybody loves you.
There
We're all
was
rooting
no
for you.
conversation. So I just learned, like in the very beginning, I was like, don't be problematic. Like just do your job and whatever. And then I was like,
But as an
I'm
actor,
just gonna
you need
ask.
this.
Like
Some
Yeah.
directors will.
some directors will give you a little bit,
Like
yeah.
the good ones.
It depends. There's actors, directors, and then there's crew directors. And the
Right.
crew directors
Yeah.
are there for the shots. They're
Yeah.
dealing with the crew mostly.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it was that was a very, I was like, but it was also very liberating because I never had that kind of freedom before. Theater is so micromanaged. Stand here because the light hits you and grab
Yeah.
the prop and turn
And
this
do it
way
the same
and do it on
every
this beat.
single day.
And it's so fucking micromanaged that I was
But
like,
you could also like that too, because then you are taken care of, and then you are.
see, but I don't like that.
Oh.
I don't like people. I liked the freedom in television. I was like, oh, this is mine. It actually felt like I was fucking acting for once in my life.
So stepping into Tracy, it's like, you know, how did you make that role your own? Oh, and just real fast, I have to say, Danielle Staub fans, she is here. We are going to get to her interview. We're running a little bit behind, but she is
in the
here.
house.
She in the house. How did you make Tracy your own?
Well, we were very fortunate that the creative, so Jack O'Brien and Jerry Mitchell and Mark Shaman and Scott Whitman, they were all
Love Jerry
very
Mitchell.
involved with the
They're
tour.
all amazing
Yes,
men.
and just incredible men. And they were all very involved with the tour. And they were kind of looking at it with the approach of like, you know, we want to take what worked. And then there's a few things. Of course, anytime you make something, you look at it and you're like, oh, we should have, we could have, or that joke could have been. So they did that with us. They gave us an opportunity to like quirk things and make it our own and really develop that. And they wanted that. They were like, we don't want your Tracy to be Marissa's Tracy. We want your Tracy to be your Tracy and what you bring to it. And I think what I brought to it was sort of that plucked out of obscurity in a small town, being really young and just sort of being bright-eyed and thrown into things, because that was sort of what Tracy was. She didn't ask why, she asked why not, right?
Yeah.
And so
That's exactly it. And she had that same
But
energy,
you're-
which I think you bring to
Yeah.
every role. You're like, okay, I'm doing this. I know in One Mississippi, that was meant for like a black or a Latino actor.
the Guestbook.
The
Yes.
Guestbook. And you're like, no.
I'm like, that would have got real interesting. real
yeah. In
Yeah.
fact, can we take a look at the Guestbook trailer on TBS?
Oh, here she comes, Tickles.
Thinking of going to the beach, making a fresh start.
I need a fresh start. I'm
so
gonna be
in love with
Vivian,
you.
the
It's
new girl,
ridiculous.
instead of Tickles the stripper. Guys in the supply closet. Hi.
I'm Tickles. I give the hell of a in the storage closet for $25. $30 if you want me to take off the carpal tunnel brace.
Hello? I'm just here to pick up the keys to Bare Feet Retreat.
Welcome to the Bare Feet Retreat.
Kids, back! We're going to the beach!
It's a place where folks come to relax.
Look at all that beauty.
It's very nice out here, too, you know.
Yeah, but not as nice as this. Oh, look at that. Look at that.
Every week, a new guest checks in.
You asked me to come here and pretend to be your girlfriend. You don't know me. Halfway here, I could have pulled out a knife and robbed you. That's like a real possibility. I have a knife in my purse and I've robbed people before.
How much does the baby look like or not look like the father when it's born?
Well, the other guy you had sex with, was he the same color as your fiancé?
According to the swatches at Lowe's, my fiance's a summer linen and the other guy's a toasted coconut.
Should be good for a while.
They arrive with all their baggage.
So you guys, these stars come week after week, and so Carly, I have to know, as an actress, you know, you guys have established your structure, and then you have these big names come in, and it must be like, oh, so excited to meet them, but then we have to film, and I know you guys are like on a 2-week where it's...
Yeah, 2 episodes in 2 weeks, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a mini masterclass every single time somebody comes in. And of course, you're always a really big fan of their work, and you're so interested to see, and we work very quickly.
It's one camera.
Yeah, it's single cam, and so it's like, you know, it's very interesting. But you know, Greg is just, I cannot speak highly enough about working with Greg. He is one of the most, like, he just gets it. He's that guy that's like, somehow they let me sneak in the back door. Don't even belong
really down to
here.
earth.
Like, they just let me, you know what I mean? And he's never crossed. There's never tension. Like, even when the suits are running around, they're like, we're overtime, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I'll be like to Greg, I'm like,
Kurt's
is everything...
not wearing a suit, but he's already telling us we're overtime.
But like, I'll be like, Greg, is everything okay? And he's like, it's fine. And then we'll go play like the bottle game or whatever with his son. Like, it's just, he's very cool and very funny and wonderful. And so he creates this great atmosphere where everybody just feels really safe and comfortable, and everybody feels really equal. And that was one of the things that meant everything to me coming into it, because I, of course, was like, I'm so out of my league. What am I doing here? That's Stockard Channing. And I wanted to be like, you making fun of me, Riz. But like, I didn't. I held it in. I didn't say that I wanted to so bad. But yeah, just to like pretend that you're these people's peers is hysterical to me. I'm just, it'll never not be like, what am I doing
I think that's
here?
how everyone feels. Everyone feels like a fraud on the inside.
Yeah.
You know, like we're all faking it.
Yeah.
And that's probably good
Because that's what we're
it
doing.
challenges you to do better and to work harder. But I have to tell you, you are such a heart of the Guestbook from season 1 to season 2, and your poor boobs in the show.
Oh my God.
Season 3,
Just
what's going to
everywhere.
happen? Like, you don't have any more boobs for them to do.
And well, she got
anything.
shot in the same one twice, so
And
I
there's
don't
the
know.
Marlin on the side. Just unbelievable. I'm such a fan of how you as an actress fill whatever you're doing. From Hairspray, which you guys can see so many YouTube clips of her doing Hairspray, so we're not going to play that. From TV, One Mississippi, the Guestbook, which we got to see a little bit of, you really fill out every space you're in, even tonight here. I could talk to you for 3 hours. I want to take a peek at you at Rockwell, which, if you guys live in Southern California, Rockwell is the small, intimate space that does musicals that are unbelievable. I want to show you how Carly brings this big talent to a small space and owns it and makes it believable and...
Well, what's this going to be? Oh, sure.
Lovable.
Strumming my pain with his fingers, singing my life with his words, killing me softly with his song,
voice.
With his song, telling my life, with his words, killing me softly, with his song.
It's that comedy, but the I love this.
Oh, Jesus.
All right. So that's just a little clip. What I love is, like, you command the stage, and this voice, which is such a great partnership of musical theater and like pop, and we're gonna end the show with a track from one of your CDs. This has to be part one of a two-parter, Carly.
Well, here's
we
the
haven't
thing.
even.
I just want to put a tiny disclaimer about this album. I recorded this almost 9 years ago. It was my first shot at songwriting, and I sort of produced it on my own. It's rough. It's from my heart. It's like but this song in particular was like the heart and soul of what the album was about. But we're thinking about doing another one. I don't know. I've been itching. I don't sing anymore, and it's so funny because
so this is a big question.
What? I don't sing anymore.
This is a big question.
In like years.
Before we get to our rapid fire, this is our last big question I have for you.
But you have to start.
I know. I miss it. I'm thinking about it.
Is there a struggle between your music career and your TV film career?
Right now, yes, a little bit. I think I'm a big believer in like you have to put 100% into something to have success from it. And if you only put 10% of yourself in different pots all over the place, then that's what you're going to get back. And so I've put a lot of my focus and time and energy into the TV world since I've been out here. But my singing has been on such a back burner, and it didn't really bother me until we were on set one day and we were talking about music or whatever. And Jimmy Tatro, who plays Bodhi, says to me, he goes, "Oh, you sing?" And I was like, that used to be the thing I was known for. That was so like.
Did you feel like you weren't ready?
Like to sing?
Like if he would have said, "Oh, we're gonna give you a song right now."
No, it wasn't that. It was just the idea that like I had been separated it from so long that there could be a world that people didn't know that I did that, and I thought, it's been too long.
We need to.
I'm like, it's been too long.
We need to go and have lunch.
It's time. It's time to bring her back. Like she's ready to come back.
Am I invited? My name's on the goddamn banner.
Let's go.
No,
we should all go to lunch.
I hear that a lot. You know, from singer actors. It's like, then what do you do? Like Carly Hughes. You know, from Broadway.
It's hard because there's no world where I'm like, I don't really want to be a recording artist. That's where it gets into this sort of like, what do you decide you want to do?
Right.
Because if I was going to do that, I'd need to put my focus into that, right?
But
it's hard.
So
it's like
so Lady Gaga, which I thought her performance in A Star Is Boring was.
A Star Is fine.
Don't even.
Okay, but here's the thing: is that she focused on music because she wasn't getting acting roles, and she's very honest and open about it. Was that she did both, and nobody was really paying attention to her acting, and she couldn't get roles, and
she was like 20.
But she focused on her music, and now she's that. Now she's getting back into the movies. It's such this weird dichotomy now because you can't just be one thing.
It's Sophie's choice, man. Like it sucks, but sometimes it is a little bit. And it's always so interesting too when people are like, "Oh, now you're trying to do this," and you're like, "Bitch, don't call it a comeback." Like she's been here for years. Like, absolutely not. It's so interesting to me.
You guys. We have to do part two
because
with
people want to put you in a box. Sorry, we have to keep talking. Cancel Danielle.
Your review.
We have Bravo TV that's up my ass right now. And Kurt
I've never wanted to talk to someone more than I actually.
You have to play one thing.
You're the most interesting guest he's ever put in front of me.
Oh, is this your first time or? Wouldn't that be terrible?
No, this is like my 19th time. No shade to all those other.
This conversation is just so natural and it's so exciting. I think we need another episode.
Yes.
I'm down.
Us. Yeah,
let's do it.
I'd come back.
We're gonna do that. We're gonna end the show with rapid fire.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know what that means, but like I'll take it.
I'll take answer 5 questions.
Take it on the chin like a lady.
Musical theater audition song you wish would just retire. One that people just like shouldn't do. Like you're like, ugh.
Oh, what's that song from Life of the Party?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. Most embarrassing song on your playlist.
So much judgment. Embarrassing song. Oh, ABBA, Take a Chance on Me.
Mine is Mbop, and I have 10 remixes of
Oh my god!
Every time Take a Chance on Me comes back, I'm always like, I would try to turn it down. I don't know why I feel so like people are gonna be like, I'm always like, oh no.
It's probably a disco song for me.
Oh. After a day of filming, what is your personal ritual? Like you're done filming,
drink a Coke and smoke a cigarette.
Really?
Yeah, have a Coca-Cola.
You smoke as a singer?
Yeah, I smoke cigarettes.
Yeah, okay.
No judgment.
We gotta talk, girl. Coca-Cola's my jam.
I know.
And I'll have a cigarette. Don't judge me. As a
They'll
singer.
lower the key, it's fine. Broadway musical, you could go back in time and originate the role, male or female. Which one would it be?
Good question.
Hairspray.
Aww.
Really?
I'd have won the Tony. I wanted a Tony.
But no other
Oh
Broadway
no, she
musical
wanted
from like.
from the beginning of Hairspray.
Yeah.
She's saying.
I want to originate it.
I get it.
I mean,
I
I'm not trying to
didn't
take shit
know,
away from her,
'cause
so you asked
sometimes-
me a question.
Yeah. God, I love her so much. How do you? Who is your celebrity crush that you would want to sign your guest book? Sorry.
It's going to be somebody that you're going to be like, what? John
No.
Stewart.
I
love
thought
him
Jon
so
Stewart
much.
was sexy in the
He's
faculty.
so
He's
smart.
he's sexy.
He's so sexy. He's
faculty,
so
yeah.
politically charged. I love him. Or Bill Maher. I know I have daddy issues. Like I don't want to talk about it.
No.
I love him.
Have you ever been to a club where he is?
No,
You'd
but
be instantly turned off.
All right,
And
you
you're
guys.
not as you're too light for his type.
I know. He has a type.
Yeah.
And I'm not it.
You guys, we haven't even talked. I have 2 other pages of questions. Please promise you're going to come back.
I promise. I
Carly Jibson
swear. I
part 2.
promise.
Yay!
Will you come back? Right.
Yeah.
Will you drive from
I'm
Wego?
a whore.
And Kurt, thank you so much. You guys, stay tuned.
Thanks, Kurt.
When we come back, we have OG Bravo TV, new Real Housewife of New Jersey. Danielle Staub is here, and I'm
Yes.
telling you, she has some tea to spill. She wasn't invited to Andy Cohen's baby shower, but she
shit.
sure showed up, and she's
Yes,
here. And she's here to talk to us.
Atta
Yes.
Stay tuned. We're going to exit the show by listening to Carly Jibson's CD, which you guys have to download, and we're listening to "I Remember You" from Best of Me.
Bye, y'all.